Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to our very first episode of our dev blog. We're going to be posting these every other Friday, so our next one will be on November 5th, so make sure you guys mark the calendar and be there when our next video goes live. Essentially, what this is going to be is us updating you behind the scenes of everything that we're working on at the moment for a big update that we're planning to drop later in the future. We'll give more information on that when it's ready. So I'd like to warn you that everything that you do see in today's video is not in the public game and probably won't be in there for a little while. But I know we haven't updated in a while, so we're going to be dropping a Halloween update here very soon. All I'm going to say is don't expect anything crazy. It's just going to be something a little small for a couple days, and then we're going to take it out of the game. We do also have an announcement for you guys every single 23rd of every month. We're going to be doing a game night in our Discord and also live streaming it. So plan ahead every single month on the 23rd. Make some time so you guys can join in the game nights and also join in on the streams. We'll be streaming them right here on this channel. No specific time, but we'll let you guys know throughout the community channel. And also, if you guys like to participate, you can join our Discord and you can get notified whenever we do go live there. Our Discord's at the top of the description down below. So make sure you guys do join that if you guys like to participate or be in the live stream at all. One last thing before I send you guys over to Tact Bacon is everything that we talk about in today's video and more is all on our Trello. You can basically see the stuff that we have planned and what we're working on right now. If you guys like to see those things ahead of time before these videos release and also get updated live whenever stuff gets finished, you can always go to the Trello. It'll be linked in the description as well, and you can see everything that we have on there. Also, after Tact Bacon and Chief Walden talk, we talking to you guys again, and I have some pretty cool things to show you. Maybe a couple teasers. Anyways, handing it over to Tact Bacon.
What's up, everybody? I'm Tact Bacon, and I'm going to be going over some of the development that I've been doing this week. But before we get into that, we wanted to announce in this space that the bouncing bug has been fixed. Roblox staff finally got back to us and they'd fixed the error that had been causing it internally. This affected our game and a few others because we're using such new technology with the mesh deformation for custom characters, which is how our characters' arms bend without having the edges be shown that you might see in other games like Bad Business. So starting off for the development this week, movement has been made much more responsive. So when you're running and you turn your camera quickly, you may have noticed that in the past you would kind of slide in that direction or you kind of lose momentum. That's no longer an issue. The movement is much snappier. So next up, changing stances will impact your weapon now visually. So if you go into a crouch, before there would be no visual movement on your gun, or if you go into a prone, there's no visual movement. If you start standing up, there is visual movement now. It will help a lot with drop shotting and just feeling more immersive in general. There's now a maximum and minimum vertical camera angle for when you're proning. This means that you can't look straight up and down when you are laying down anymore. We are now going to be showing display names in chat, so if any of you guys are still using the usernames that you had when you were in, I don't know, 3rd grade, and you're just kind of embarrassed about it, don't worry about it. We're now using the display names in chat, so you can be whatever cool name you want to be. You can be me, probably. I don't know. Next up is grenade improvements. We now have trails on the grenades. There's updated physics for the grenades. They're not quite as heavy and you can throw them much farther. So the grenade should feel a lot better after this update. The next thing I did was I improved particles. So there's now new blood particles for impacting other players with your bullets. This shows a very clear visual feedback when you're hitting other players, which feels way better in game. Another big thing to note with this new update is that impact particles will now scale with the distance. So if you shoot a hill that's far away, you should still be able to see the dust kick up so you can easily track where your bullets are landing. This also scales with blood, so if you snipe somebody from really far away, you'll see a much bigger blood impact, which looks really nice. Another thing to note with the blood particles as well is that if you shoot them in the body, there will be the regular blood particles that come out, and if you shoot them in the head, there will be a mist of blood that comes out as well. So the next thing that's coming to this update, and probably the biggest thing that's coming to this update, is that there's going to be a whole new recoil system. So different weapons will have different, mostly predictable recoil patterns that you'll be able to learn per gun that will feel much more natural. This recoil will also scale in intensity with long bursts of fire, so tap firing will help for controlling recoil quite a bit. What this means is that if you're spraying for a while with a weapon like an M249, then your recoil will get more and more intense as you're firing. Next up is bug fixes. We fixed mouse getting stuck on squad mate icons, the respawn bug that is causing players to have to rejoin the game if you get hit with this, the green equipment placement prediction for motion sensors or spawn beacons. If you died while you were placing a beacon, that green prediction would stay there indefinitely. It's now removed on death. And then while you're sliding, if you're still holding left shift in the game right now, then you can't hip fire. That was due to the update where sprinting and shooting were not allowed to go together. So that's all fixed. And then we've got some quality of life updates as well. So the ammo count will now go red when you're low on ammo, and there will be a reload prompt that pops up. And there's also now lower mobility on the medkit and ammo box, so the meta of just pulling out your medkit or ammo box to sprint really fast will no longer be a thing. They're still faster than your primary, but pulling out your secondary will be faster. Another quality of life update is that we'll now have new first-person sprint animations for almost every weapon and equipment. And there's also now a more natural first-person walk animation. So that's what I've been doing for this week's development on Flashpoint. If you're interested in watching our progress before the next video comes out, since we'll be doing this every other week, you can view our progress on the public Trello, which I'm sure that Kevin will link in the description. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the Discord. I'm Tact Bacon, like I said, and I will talk to you guys later.
Hey guys, Chief Wilden here. Recently, I've been working on a new server browser for the game. While that may seem simple enough, it changes a lot about how the game is structured, so let's break that down for you real quick. In the game's current state, if you hit play on the Roblox website, it will launch you straight into a 64-player server. Roblox will decide everything about which one is best and does their own matchmaking process. While this works well enough, it leaves us with a few limitations. The biggest being the fact that we can only have one specific server size. There's no room to have modes with different player counts, like if we wanted to do a smaller 32-player server for lower end devices or people that just feel the game is too crowded on smaller maps. The way that we're improving on this is with the server browser. Now when you hit play, you'll initially be taken to an all-new main menu for the game. Here you can see our latest changelog, a social menu where you can see your friends and join them or invite them to play, your player banner with class ranks, and the options to either play now or view the server browser. Play now currently follows the same Roblox matchmaking procedure that is currently in the game, with the exception of the fact that you can now choose to join a 64 or 32 player server. This is now controlled by us though, in the event that we want to modify our matchmaking process down the road. The server browser gives you a list of all the currently running game servers sorted by connection strength. This all gives us much more freedom to expand the game in ways that previously weren't possible. We now have the ability to develop and bring out game modes that accommodate any number of players, which is pretty cool. Before I go, I will note as well that this change does mean that we will have to cancel VIP servers on the Roblox end. With the new structuring, it simply wouldn't work the way that you'd expect it to. That said, we are planning on having custom servers and will bring proper support for that later on down the road.
What's up, everyone? Touchfy here, and I got a couple things to show you guys. Here's a first look at a couple of the weapons that will be in this big update that's coming later down the road. First one is a Dragunov. Here's a first look at some of the animations that are not in game yet, but they're in Blender, and these are also made by Rin. These animators will be linked in the description to anybody that I show. The second weapon we're going to be showcasing is the MP443. The animations for the MP443 are made by GrooveCat. Again, links in the description down below to these animators if you guys want to check out their YouTube channels. We do still have more to show you guys, but we're going to save those for our future videos. When these weapons are imported and ready to be shown, we'll be uploading a video on each one of these weapons, for example, the Dragunov overview. So you get to see all the animations in game, the damages, the recoil, the sounds, all of those. But that'll be later down the road. I don't have a date for you guys yet. We do have a little bit more to show you guys, but I'm going to save those for the next episode of our dev blog. And I do want to show you some stuff that we've posted on Twitter recently. These aren't coming anytime soon, but they're a little bit of a tease of what's to come later down the road. Anyways, with that said, that is going to be the end of our very first episode of our dev blog. If you have any questions or concerns about any of the updates we talked about today, or you want to suggest anything, join our Discord, link in the top of the description down below. You can ask all your questions or any concerns there. We can try to answer you whenever we can. But again, we're busy, so try not to bother us too much. But I would like to say that we do try to interact with our community as best as possible. Anyways, that's all for today. Thank you guys for hanging out today. We appreciate you. Excited to show you guys some more later down the road. We're out of here. Later.